Hey guys, happy quarantine Saturday. I'm trying out a home fry recipe today. So I've never been able to do these right in the past. They never come out crunchy on the outside and soft on the inside like they do in diners. But according to the internet, what I need to do is parboil the potatoes first. That means basically putting them in a pot of cold water, bringing that to a boil, and then letting them boil for a minute or two, and then frying them from there. So right now, I am cutting up several potatoes. So as you can see, I'm cutting these up into basically the size pieces that you would be getting in your tasty home fries from a restaurant. I'm also using my Alaskan Ulu knife. I recognize most of you won't have these. They're great for dicing, as I learned when we didn't have barely any other knives, and you can pretty much do it one-handed. You can see I can hold my phone with one hand, dice with the other, easy peasy. Get these into the right shapes, so we'll get back to that. Bit of a demonstration for you. Please be careful with your knives. We all hurt ourselves all the time. It's part of how it goes. To avoid having to go to the hospital right now, more so than usual maybe. So yeah. So I might have highballed it a bit with how many potatoes I needed here. So it goes, but we've just covered that with cold water an inch above the potatoes roughly, added a bit of salt. We're just gonna wait for that to boil, then let them boil for a few minutes, and that'll be that section done. By the way, if you're wondering, we're supposed to do this without a lid on, so see how long it takes. So it's been about 15 minutes. We're not quite at boiling yet. We're gonna know when this really starts bubbling, and that's when we're gonna give it about 2 minutes, then take the pot off the hob. In the meantime, back there, I've got some oil just waiting to be heated up, chopping up celery, pepper, some onion, not gonna use that whole onion, and some garlic with my Ulu knife. Use whatever you want. Obviously, then what we're gonna do is start heating up that oil real hot, get everything else kind of frying, except the peppers. Probably I'll add those last because I like them a bit more on the raw side. And then we'll throw in those parboiled potatoes. By the way, in between, you guys missed this part, but I did wash off my knife and cutting board. That's to prevent all those potato starches getting on everything. So we will be in touch later. Seems like we're finally getting our boil on over here. It's been about 25 minutes. Gonna let this hang out for 2 minutes or so. Meantime, we've been chopping everything up here, just getting it all ready. And that's what boiling looks like. Meantime, we've been chopping all the stuff, getting ready. It's getting to be a pretty good texture. Still firm, but you can kind of easily pierce them. I'm gonna take them off the heat. About 15 seconds. All right, let's call it there. Now what you can do with this potato water, although I'm just going to drain mine, is use it as your water base for potato bread. That has a nice starchy kind of sponginess, rubberiness to it. However, I'm not in the mood to make that in the next few days, so I'm not going to bother keeping my potato water, but it is useful in that sense. Now I guess what we're going to do, just throw the oil onto that hob. I've turned it back on, by the way. Gonna add some salt, pepper, paprika, Holy Trinity, maybe a bit of Italian seasoning. Start off with the onions and garlic, then we're gonna probably add in the drained potatoes and then these other nice vegetables. As a side note here, I am using olive oil, which has a lower smoke point than a lot of other household oils. I'm using it because I thought the flavor would be better. That does mean you have to keep a bit more of an eye on it when it's on the stove. Generally, once you've got enough stuff cooking in there, it's not really going to be an issue. Getting nice and hot, we're going to throw in those drained potatoes. Now, my recipe said not to overcrowd the potatoes, cook them in a single layer. Clearly I haven't done that. What I might actually do is to get a better crunch factor here. Better crunch ratio is put some of them back in that strainer so that we can sort of belatedly give them a shot to cook more crisply, because I've never really gotten the hang of doing this correctly. To be honest with you, this recipe is a little more exacting than my own cooking style tends to be. Is it ever possible to have too much paprika? That looks a bit more like a single layer, doesn't it? We'll add the rest of that in a bit. So, according to my instructions, leave that for 5 to 10 minutes. They get nice and brown without flipping. Then we'll give them a stir around. Throw the others back in. It's looking promising, y'all. So I've added some more oil. I've thrown in the rest of my vegetables. I've even thrown in the rest of the potatoes now. We're getting somewhere here. Just gonna keep this going. It's on a pretty high heat right now. Which should be good for our crunch levels. Gonna keep it going until things are looking more consistently like that. This is kind of the color and texture that I'm looking for in more of the potatoes. So this might take a while. I've got a podcast going in the background, Flash Forward by Rose Eveleth, if anybody is interested. And I'm just gonna hang out here and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, so we're making some progress here, but don't start this recipe if you're already hungry, because it's been like over an hour altogether, including the olive oil time. But I think we'll be done in about 10 minutes or so. We finally got to eat these, and they were indeed pretty delicious. Enjoy!